-3 exiles target artifact or creature, and the -8 ultimate exiles all cards from all graveyards, and we get to add triple red to our mana pool. So that's an extra reason to want damage-based sweeper effects as opposed to exile-based ones. So Tibalt has more stuff to potentially get back out of the graveyard with the -8 ultimate ability. And then the mana base, we've got a few shock lands here with 4 copies of Blood Crypt, 2 copies of Steam Vents, and 4 copies of Watery Grave, alongside 4 copies of Dragonskull Summit, which will come into play untapped if we had one of those shock lands in play, or if we have one of our 2 basic lands. We've got a basic swamp and a basic mountain, and then a couple pathways to round out the mana base, with 2 of the blue-black one, 2 of the blue-red one, and 4 of the black-red one. So that's our deck. Now let's jump in some games and see how the deck does. Alright, we're on the play with, pretty controlling draw up against a Lurrus deck, so it could be Spirit Dancer, in which case Thirst is pretty important. And then Haka can potentially be played off the blue mana from Cold Steel Heart and help us find whatever we need. And our opponent does seem to be on a Spirit Dancer type deck. Alright, so Heart names blue. And then we can transform Haka with Release to the Wind at some point as well. If our opponent runs out Spirit Dancer, we can just Sweltering Suns. It's going to be Hallowblade instead. That one's a little bit trickier to get rid of. Ooh, Tibalt. So I can play Valki, Bloodchief's Thirsty Altseed perhaps. Or we can just wait until we can Sweltering Suns to clean up most of the board. And then Tibalt can exile the Hallowblade as well. I don't mind playing Valki, see what's up, and then decide based on what we see how we want to use the Bloodchief's Thirst. Alright, so they have another Hallowblade. Ways to give flying and ways to draw cards. So let's Thirst the Alseid here. And then next turn, when we transform Tibalt, Hallowblade should be the only creature in play, so they won't have too many ways to pressure our Planeswalker. And of course we don't mind if they put some auras on the Hallowblade, since we'll be able to exile them. So there's a Staggering Insight. And an Arcane Flight. Now they will get the other Hallowblade back, so we will still need to find answers for that one. For now we get to attack. And release. And exile.
It won't help, but it amuses me. How badly will you miss that?
And then next turn we can route Sweltering Suns, make them discard a card, but they can still fly over, so playing a Hellblade as a blocker is not really going to cut it. It's going to be a Spirit Dancer instead. Yeah, it's going to pick up 3 additional toughness here, so survive Sweltering Suns. So I need to hit big with Tibalt here. Cathartic and all that glitters, so can Cathartic, discarding Sweltering Suns in the hopes of finding Bloodchief's Thirst here. I can always play Haka as a chump blocker as well, which can maybe save Tibalt for a turn. So let's go for it. Right, no removal, so it's going to be Haka on defense. It's gonna be one big Spirit Dancer. Although we can exile it again with Tybalt. Although, never mind. So they can give protection from blue, although then the flying enchantment would fall off. That also works. So just a 3/5 Spirit Dancer, which is not enough to kill Tybalt. So we'll plus again. Sweltering Sun's the draw. Maybe I should have attacked first with Haka, but now we can just block again. How about SRAM into all that glitters? Maybe Hellblade as well. Put all that glitters on the Hellblade. And then I'll keep Haka back so they can't use a protection trick again to kill Tybalt. And we've got a backup Tybalt waiting in the wings. So we're using the opponent's own deck against him here. And then I'm probably okay playing out a tap land. And then Elrond names creature and draws us into 2 cards. Now we still need to find a way to get rid of that Skarmetra's Blessing before we can get rid of Spirit Dancer, but now we're in a pretty dominant position. Can Shumblock the Spirit Dancer and just replay Haka or Valki out of the graveyard each turn. So I guess we'll jump with Valki. Could also block with Hallowblade and discard, but might as well make use of lures. So would like to find a Thoughtseize for that Skarmetra's Blessing. So Haka can go digging. Bottom. And then we'll play actual Tybalts. And then play another Haka, so we don't die to a flying effect. This can plus. Can also find synergies with the opponent's Spirit Dancer, as we see Arcane Flight. Yeah, that also works. Can give Elrond flying, or perhaps the Seasoned Hellblade. And we've got Coldsteel Heart, which can name blue if we need to take it a turn slower. Opponent with Plains, maybe a life gain deck. Nope, Mindstone, so probably more controlling deck then. Yeah, I mean, we could play Valki here, or we could wait until we have 5 mana to go Valki plus release if we're afraid of a sweeper effect. Which also makes sense, and then for now just play Coldsteel Heart naming blue. So my removal's probably not going to be at its best here. Another Mindstone. Alright, Thoughtseize is excellent, so we'll have a look first. Alright, opponent is playing the 9 lives combo deck, and Baffling End is currently the only interaction they have. Now, how do we win if our opponent gets 9 lives plus Solemnity in play? Well, we can still win with Nicol Bolas the Ravager pretty easily by ultimating. Tutor could potentially find an answer to my Planeswalkers, so that's a cause for concern as well. So I think we take the Tutor, let him keep the 9 lives, and then just wait until we can Valki and release in the same turn, so Baffling End is not an issue. And then, for now, we'll just pass. Could also play Haka and have that exiled by Baffling End, but probably better off waiting until we can Elrond. So there's a 9 lives. That's okay. Alright, it's go time. Play Valky. And release. Opponent draws. Rest in peace. Probably don't need to cast that one. Field of Ruin goes after my Steam Vents. Yeah, we actually don't have basic islands, but we do have some basics in the deck. So I won't be able to cast Elrond now, unless we hit another blue source. So we'll plus. And they can also give it +2 and haste, so that would kill my Tibalt if I minus. So I guess I have to wait here. I could technically also release to the wind on Kroxa, and then if they replay it, it's not escaped, so it just makes me discard, but then of course we don't have a Tibalt in play. So I think we just wait and then probably release to the wind end of turn and hope to draw a removal spell so we can start plussing instead. They're gonna claim Kroxa to make me discard. Can get the Sweltering Suns. And then in response to the attack trigger, I'll have to release, so I won't have the opportunity to chum block first. Ooh, they're gonna claim. Alright, good thing we have a release to the wind here. Opponent got a bit overzealous maybe to use that village rights. They cannot cast Lurrus this turn. So all in all, things kind of worked out okay. Still gonna be in a bit of trouble, since our opponent can still play Lurrus and get something back from the graveyard, but this is a good start.
Trickery is just a hobby.
And in fact, the second release means I could exile Tibalt again and then replay him. So that's actually decent, and then Kroxa can make them discard. Although I think we'll start with release on Tibalt.
My job here is done.
And then plus. And then I guess we'll play Kroxa. If our opponent goes Lurrus, replay Kroxa at the graveyard, they can put me 2-1. I guess we'll be 1 mana short since the Mind Stone's now tapped because of the Sea God. Bombardment goes after Tibalt. And Lotus Field, which has lost hexproof now. Although I think this can get around hexproof anyway, since you're not actually targeting. Right, Lotus Field gone, that's too bad. So now I probably want to ultimate Tibalt so that the opponent cannot do the same. Alright, that's quite a hand. I can cast a Seagate Restoration here if I wanted to. That seems fun. And then play another Lotus Field. I could play Nicol Bolas, which the opponent won't be able to transform if they steal it. And then we have a way to pressure Tybalt as well. And then might as well Thoughtseize. They probably should wait on activating Mind Stone here. But we'll take the Storm's Wrath. Opponent gets to steal one of my permanents. And then we've got more copies of Nicol Bolas in hand. Bombardment takes out a land. And our opponent explodes. Sweet, that was a pretty epic game as well. So yeah, we definitely had some fun ones today with this sweet release deck. Even though I don't think we ever got to quite go turn 2 Valkyne to turn 3 Release to the Wind, which is of course what the deck is built for, but definitely got to enjoy some lengthy, grindy games where we got to see the entire deck in action. So that's going to do it for today's gameplay. Want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always...
Introducing Magic the Gathering, Arena of the Planeswalkers game from Hasbro. Engage in fantasy warfare in this movement-based strategy game based on the hit Magic the Gathering card game. Players customize their battlefield and set up the terrain. Each player selects one of 5 different Planeswalkers. These powerful warriors have their own unique strengths, abilities, and squads to help them win the battle. Use spell cards to cast game-changing offensive and defensive abilities. Players summon squads to reinforce their Planeswalkers as they move into strategic positions to take down their opponent. The last Planeswalker standing wins! The Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers game is for ages 10 and up, and includes 5 painted Planeswalkers figures, 30 squad figures, 2 ruins, modular game board, 75 cards, 10 combat dice, 15 army cards, 60 spell cards, and plastic terrain pieces. The Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers game. From Hasbro.